Welcome, Rhonda here with Foods 101. Today I'm going to show you how to make this blueberry breakfast cake. Absolutely scrumptious. The ingredients you're going to need for this is 2 cups of unbleached flour plus 2 tablespoons of unbleached flour, and I'm going to show you how to use this with the blueberries later. 1 to 2 teaspoons of turbinado sugar. This is a raw sugar that you can buy in the baking section of your supermarket. Zest from 1 fresh lemon, and I'll show you how to do that here in a little bit. 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 cup of unsalted butter, 1 large egg at room temperature, 3/4 cups of granulated sugar, 1/2 cup of whole buttermilk, and the star of the show are 2 cups of these fresh, delicious blueberries. You want to make sure you go through them, remove any stems on the berry, rinse them in cool, fresh tap water, and make sure they're completely dry before tossing them here in your 2 tablespoons of flour. So let me show you how we're going to get this together. Reserve 1/3 cup of your 2 cups of fresh blueberries for the top of your cake. Add your remaining blueberries into a bowl. Add that 2 tablespoons of flour. Give these a lovely little tossing. Set this off to the side. Add your flour, your salt, your baking powder. Give this a lovely little whisking until you have these 3 ingredients well combined. Set this off to the side. In a large mixing bowl, add your room temperature butter. You see how lovely and soft that is? That's what you're looking for. Add your 3/4 cups of sugar. With a microplane, I'm going to start zesting that lemon. And you just want to get the outside layer. You really don't want to get down into the white of the lemon because it'll make it bitter, and it's definitely something you want to avoid. See all that lemon zest, and it smells so fresh and fantastic. There we go, the zest of 1 lemon. And you want to make sure you clean your lemon before you start zesting it. With a hand mixer or a KitchenAid, we're going to beat this on medium until it's light and fluffy, about 2 minutes. Make sure you scrape down the sides of your bowl as you go. Now that looks perfect. You're wondering why my bowl's not moving? I've got a little pad here on the bottom to keep my bowl from moving back and forth as I'm using my hand mixer, but if you want to use a damp tea towel, you can do that too. We're going to add our egg. Make sure you don't get any shells in there. Add your vanilla. On low, we're going to beat this until it's well incorporated. That looks perfect. Back with the flour mixture, you're going to add 1/3 of it. Incorporate the flour in with our butter mixture here. All right, that looks great. Now we're going to add a little bit of that buttermilk, about 1/3. Add another 1/3 of your flour. We're going to beat these ingredients together until you can no longer see the flour. Woo! And this batter is going to be rich and thick, so don't let that scare you away and think you need to add more liquid, because this thick batter will ensure a delicious, moist blueberry morning cake. And then we're going to incorporate these until we can no longer see the flour. It's time to add the blueberries. Just make sure you get all your batter off your beaters there. I use a fork to move the blueberries over here into its batter. I don't want the excess flour you see here in the bottom when adding your blueberries here into its batter. You're wondering why coat your blueberries with flour? That way they'll stay here in your batter and they won't fall to the bottom of your cake as it bakes. You want to gently just fold them in with a spatula. Make sure you don't burst your blueberries, and look how delicious and rich that batter is. That is going to ensure a perfectly moist, delicious cake. I'm going to bake this blueberry cake in an 8-inch springform pan that I've greased and I've floured very well. But if you want to use a 8-inch round or square baking pan greased and floured very well, that will work too. I'm going to go ahead and spoon my batter right here into its prepared pan. And by the way, you want your oven preheated to 325 degrees Fahrenheit at this point. I can smell that lemon zest and the richness of this batter. Once you get it all in here, spread it out until you have an even layer of batter. With a spoon, I'm gonna make sure I get it all off of my spatula. You don't want to leave any of this fantastic, rich, delicious batter behind. Make sure I spread it over to the edge of our baking dish. That 1/3 cup of blueberries that you had reserved from your 2 cups, we're gonna go ahead and add it here to the top, and I'm gonna just squish it down in there. Sprinkle with that turbinado sugar, and it's gonna give this lovely little crunch here on the top. This is off to that preheated oven on the middle rack for the next 50 to 60 minutes. Use your timer and no peeking. By the way, you know that lemon you zested? You wanna go ahead and put it in a plastic bag or wrap it in plastic wrap, and you've got fresh lemon juice anytime you need it. Baked blueberry breakfast cake completed, and oh my goodness, if you could be here and smell how yummy this is. I'm using a toothpick. I'm gonna go in the center. Let's go down, make sure there's no batter on that toothpick, so it has completely baked. If there had been batter on that, you would have baked it probably about another 3 to 5 minutes. Let this cool for 30 minutes before I remove the sides of the pan, so hang tight. After 30 minutes, I'm going to remove the edge of the springform pan. And to be safe, I'm going around it with this plastic little knife. If you know me, you know I love using these little plastic knives to loosen the edge of our cakes, because these plastic knives are not going to scratch your pans up. We're using a springform pan, but of course, you know, you can use a regular pan. Just gonna open it up, remove the top, and look how beautiful and golden that is around the edge. When you grease and flour your cake pans, that's what you get as a result. Oh, and it smells so heavenly. I'm gonna remove it off of its cooling rack here with a serrated knife, so we can get, serrated knife have these little teeth, so we get these perfect little edges. Now, if you let this cool down a little bit more, you're going to get nicer slices of your blueberry breakfast cake, because it'll cool down for you. Let's go in here and see what it's like. Ooh, and it's still super warm. Oh, but look how delicious and moist that is. Let's give it a taste. It's gonna be yummy. Wow. A real burst of blueberry in that bite, and of course you're going to have it in every single bite. And that slight crunch of turbinado sugar there on the top. It's spectacular. Perfect with coffee, tea, milk for the kids, or really just by itself. It's amazing. And look how lovely and moist that blueberry breakfast cake is. Moist, full of blueberry flavor, that perfect amount of little sugar on the top. You won't go wrong. Looky there on the inside, how those blueberries just bake throughout. I'm so excited. I'm Deronda with Foods 101. Give me thumbs up, and look how beautiful those blueberries are on the top. Leave me a comment. Hit that notification bell to be the first to get my new YouTube food videos. Thanks a million for watching. Stay safe, and I'll catch you lovely people later.